new piece of kit. It's the Blaser RF 10x42s range finding binoculars from Lakelands. As you can probably see them in some of the videos we've done during the week. Picked these up yesterday along with the new rifle, and I'm just starting to toy around with getting set up. Firstly, a couple of little features just off the bat. So the lens caps are actually a beautiful set of lens caps. They're silicone based, so they slip on and off really easy, don't make a sound. So some of the lens caps pop, these don't. Nice and smooth, very ergonomic, very user friendly, and obviously ideal built for stalking. So that's the first thing. Second thing, you get this neck harness here. It's actually very comfortable. Not really ideal for stalking, because obviously you're going to have this kind of clipping off your chest, but if you're observing, perfect for that. You also get this pouch, which I'll talk a little bit about later. Not very impressed with that, but I'll talk about that in more detail. So that's the kind of the starting bits and bobs. These are also Bluetooth enabled, so you download the Blaser app on the phone. You're going to pair them to the phone by going through the modes here, and once you get to the Bluetooth, it'll be blue, BLUE. Engage that, you'll see the little blue Bluetooth function flashing. On the app, you look to pair the device. What it will do is it'll look for a code on the app. You look in here, it's giving you a code, 62, 65, 67, whatever it is. Enter your code, and then that's the item's paired. It's ready then to input ballistic data into the app, and that will automatically then talk to your binos, with your distances and so on, and it'll throw back your clicks for your scope. So that's that part done. I have that part set up, and we'll talk a bit about in detail the ballistic element of the binos once we're on the range. So the second part of the process, once I had that done, I wanted to set up the binos for my eyes. So the first part of that was I had to set the pupillary distance, so just like so. So depending on the distance between your eyes, you'll set that first. Once you've got a nice clear circle in both eyes, what you're going to do then is you're going to start to do the focusing. The first part will be close your left eye and utilize the center focusing ring. Focus on a target. I've used a clock in the far room here, so I'm looking right through. I'll focus that, get that nice and crystal clear in my right eye, close my right eye, open my left eye, and I'll use the diopter ring. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But it's that little ring there underneath. If you can see there underneath the main ring here, and you utilize that then to focus on your left eye. I'll just open that so you can see there's another ring there, as you can probably see it there. Okay. Once I have that left eye crystal clear on that target, I'll repeat the process. Only this time what I'm going to do is, because the rangefinder functions in the right optical here, I'll engage any of the modes here. All you want to see is the writing, and I'll use the very same ring here to really get that crystal clear, because you want that on the money once you're on target. So that's my bino setup for my eyes, and then all I'm going to do in the field is I'm going to utilize the center focusing ring then from then on. So that should bring me back to optimum clarity every time. So that's the setup process begun. There's another couple of functions in there. There's, on the range finding options, you have 3 options. You have best, first, and last. The best is utilized for kind of like moving targets. So say if a herd was moving past, it will give you the most frequently observed range, and then it'll give you the current one. So you have 2 values. The top line being the the best value, as in the most utilized value. The last one, or the underside, the underneath one, will be the last range that you've range found. That makes sense. The first option will literally, as it says in the tin, will be the first. For instance, if you had a line of targets going up a mountain or a hill, it will give you the first option that you've the first target that you've observed, and it'll give you the current one. So if you've moved back to the third animal in the herd, it will give you the current one, and then so you'll be able to decipher then, for argument's sake, if I'm going to take the first or the third target, it'll give you both values. The last option in that function is literally the last. So it will give you, this is more for, you know, animals in kind of obscure or heavy cover. So for instance, it does away with the we've all used rangefinders where you're bouncing off a tree, you're trying to get behind, there's a target going behind a tree or a bush. It does away with those kind of scattered measurements where you're going from, you know, 70 meters to 120, because you're ranging through a series of obstacles. So it'll give you the kind of the most ranged target, and it'll also give you the current one underneath. So you're getting your two values there. So those are three functions, and we'll play about with them a little bit more in the field once we've got to input our data. The next thing will be is to get out on the range, find out which ammunition the rifle likes best. Then I'm going to start to input that data in here. Just on that as well, there's different profiles. So you can actually, for argument's sake, if you have 3 different guns, you can set up a profile for different rifles. So I can have different ballistic data for different ammunition. So that's a really cool function. I know some of the other binos don't have that profile functionality, so that's really cool. So really impressed. They're really lightweight, really ergonomic. They're Blaser German quality. Apart from this thing, this is the drawback. This is the pouch. I've played around with this. There's like a Velcro strap here. I don't know whether this is designed to go around the waist or over the shoulders. If it's over the shoulders, it's uncomfortable. If it's around the waist or around the midriff, I'm not so sure. And either way, that's not going to be functional out in the field. And a big hefty zip, it's clumsy. Probably just going to use it for being in a Jeep, for if I'm taking off the binos, I'm putting them in after maybe observing in the off season or something like that. That'll be the only reason I'd use it. I know Blaser do some beautiful bino and thermal harnesses. I'm probably going to have to look at them, which is a little bit disappointing, given, you know, I think that's just a kind of a, yeah, that's a letdown for me. So yeah, first observation, really impressed with the unit. Not so much with the pouch. Would have expected a little bit more from Blaser on that. So that's the upshot on that. So looking forward to getting these out, getting our data inputted, and stay tuned for more when we discuss that in more detail.